Good morning. This is the Site Plan Review Committee meeting for April 16, 2019. Committee members present today are Dana Brangiaforti, our City Assessor, myself, Frank Stringy, City Planner, Nick Rystrom, City Engineer. We have Paula Gengio, our DPW Superintendent, and Mark Locke, Plumbing Inspector, and we have our Fire Department, Erin Leary's here for the Fire Department. Okay. First item on the agenda is 125 Squire Road. We were. Let's see. 385 Beach Street.
Yes, here. 385?
Yeah. Yeah. Morning.
For the record, Jim George, representing Extenet and AT&T Wireless. The proposal before you today is we are seeking a site plan review letter to advance into special permit with the City Council for installation of a wireless AT&T Wireless small cell antenna node on top of an existing National Grid wood utility pole at 385 Beach Street in Revere. Specifically, this is Ward 5, sub-Ward 3. It's right outside of Bell Circle. As you're coming up Beach, there's a two-family home, 387, 385 Beach, and then you enter the circle. So we are off MassDOT property. MassDOT has got most of that circle. This is on city right-of-way. It's an existing wood pole. Prior to this, I advanced a metal pole that turned out to be owned by MassDOT. So we moved one pole down to a National Grid utility pole that is in the city right-of-way. So Extenet has an agreement in place with the City of Revere to access this pole. The city will be compensated for the installation perpetually through the terminal lease. By the time we advance into special permit, we will have both licenses from National Grid as well as Eversource. No, National Grid and Verizon. Those are the two owners of the pole. And the small cell node is very similar to the ones we've already advanced into the city. Small can with 3 or 4 antennas inside the can. It's going to propagate into Bell Circle. That area is very, very busy with vehicles, residential and commercial traffic. AT&T has a significant need to densify that area with this coverage. The existing coverage in that area is sucked away with the density and the people on their phones. So this is going to blast basically 3 blocks into the circle and on the other side of the circle in 3 different ways. So that's the notion behind these things. We have advanced both mobility and Extenet has advanced several through the city.
Look at this one, James. Let me see what you...
Sure. The installation itself, there is no ground space.
Which one is it? This one?
Yeah, right before John Mooney Road.
Yeah, right before,
To the circle.
yeah, right before John Mooney Road. It's this one with the light. It has a light. Here. Okay, sorry.
What's the height of your extension?
Moment.
29 inches?
Moment. The existing street light is at 28.7 feet. You get the elevation drawing that says the height of the pole, please. Proposed antenna mount bracket. Proposed antenna assembly. We do a small, we come to the top of the pole above the secondary line, do a bracket. That bracket is about 6 to 8 inches tall. It attaches to the wood pole, and our antennas go on top of that. So we're above the secondary line. On the top of the pole, it'll be a top-mounted installation. Fiber and telco come from the pole. There's no street excavation. We pull the fiber and the telco, the fiber and the electricity directly from the pole. Plug them both into the underneath the antennas in the tube. The antenna, the coax cable comes down to what they call a radio head box and a disconnect. They plug into that. That processes the data fiber and gets it into the system. Beneath that, we have our own dedicated meter. So beneath it at code, I believe it's something like 12 feet, we're going to have our own dedicated meter. And that's really the installation. There's no digging of the street. There's no sidewalk disturbance. Bucket truck gets the stuff.
I know, James. Can you tell us what the height of the extension is? So the new pole, the existing pole height is 28 feet 7 inches. What's going to be the height with this antenna attached?
It's typically 3 feet. Let me find it.
I know it's typically 3 feet.
It says 37. It says 37. Right now it's 34 and a half. So it's 2.5.
I'm looking at
The top, okay,
ones then.
the top of the pole is 34 and a half, 3 feet, 37 and a half.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
Okay,
So this says 37.
37,
Yeah,
It's actually 37 and a half.
okay.
Is that right?
okay. All right, James, we're going to send you to the city. Has this been uploaded to e-permitting?
Yes,
This request, so your denial letter for a special permit will be emailed to you
yes.
on that. Okay?
Very good.
It's
Any
actually
questions?
important, it's 40 inches. Okay.
Just tell me the detail you're looking at.
Which part? 40 inches?
That is the radio head down in the pole, yeah.
They didn't show up. 125.
Is there any other questions?
They were here last
I
week.
thought this was the, oh, that's the antenna, 25 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't show, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Very good. Thank you very much for your time today.
site plan for 281 Lee Burbank Highway? Okay.
Morning. My name is John Ford, F.R. Dave, the owner. Yes, I have a business there. I've been there 20 years. I'm a repair shop. I fix most of my cars are the residents of Revere. We have a sign that's been up there since 1958, and it's basically starting to fall apart. I'd like to update it to a digital sign. And the reason I went to digital is because everybody within 50 yards of my building my sign is 50 inches by 80 inches.
Can we take a look at what your
Yep,
sign
yep.
looks like now?
These are my neighbors with their digital billboards, and all within a block of me, okay? One to my left, one to my right, one across the street, and they have billboards, and they're all digital. So basically, I'm kind of in the middle with an old-fashioned non-digital sign. I just want to be able to be seen amongst this forest of billboards.
Well, they just reorganized the sign ordinances of the city of Revere. So digital signs are no longer allowed, only by special permit in the TED district. I think your property might be in the TED district. You want to check that? So you may be if you are in that district, you would be eligible to apply for a special permit for a digital sign.
Okay?
Do you have the dimension, you're going to replace it in
The same, exact same size as no
using the
difference.
same
Everything,
pole?
everything's the same.
And these digital signs also have to be approved by Mass Highway, because they,
I'll do whatever you have to do.
when you're on a state roadway.
Sure, whatever I got to do.
Did you upload their request to e-permitting? City system?
From what did it? What
It's
was
called
it?
e-permitting, you have to upload your request.
I don't know if I have a company that's assisting me.
Okay, you must have, because you're on the agenda. so
Yeah,
you
I
must
think
be
they
on
came down here
e-permitting.
and set up this hearing for me, and I'm here just to. They said I should be here, so here I am.
Okay. Do you have any plans of what the digital sign will look like?
Gosh, Pretty much the same dimensions, just that it's digital. It's similar to the one that's in a body shop up on Route 1A, just near the marina. It's the exact same sign that they have. I didn't bring a picture of it. No, I did
So
not.
you-
But it's the same dimensions as what I,
So it's a message sign, it will be, or it will be just a,
I'll be able to change the message from, repairs on a special day, certain types of things, to things along the lines of fixing vehicles.
okay, you're gonna have to have that, those details provided, what the sign is gonna display,
Yeah, just, okay.
okay?
And where do I, when I get that?
Well, from your sign
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. It's going to be different messages.
But it's
That's
gonna be the same height.
exact same thing. It's going to be
square
right.
footage, the same square footage of the sign, you're not increasing
4 by 8.
the
That's
sign
correct.
area.
Yes,
Sign
yes,
area is the
yes,
same.
yes.
This will be sent to the city council for a special permit, so you have to hold a public hearing, and if they approve it, then you come back to us. If they don't approve it, then you'd have to wait,
Should I just scrap the idea? What's your advice to me?
well,
Like I said, first time I've been in this situation. I've been in business with Revere since 2000.
yeah.
So it's just, I figured it'd be very basic. A sign's falling down, I upgrade it, and that's the end of it. But if it's something that you guys think just a waste of my time, I'll just drop it right here,
Yeah, well, the city did go through an
Yeah, I can understand
extensive
that.
ordinance
Sure.
change, because they want to decrease these digital signs in the city.
I understand all
And,
that. If I weren't surrounded by them,
Yeah,
literally within 50 feet, I have 3 digital billboards. And that's why I like to at least be able to be competitive in a small way with what's,
yeah, what you see now is kind of, what is out there today is probably, that's not going to change, I mean, it's not going to be, no more proliferation of those type of signs.
Yeah.
They'll be grandfathered in, so any new signs will be subject to a great deal of scrutiny, and there'll be extensive
I
public
agree,
hearings, so
I understand all that.
if you want to go through all that,
If I can get some advice from you folks, should I just,
I would recommend just leaving it the way it is.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, you're asking for a lot of,
bullshit?
yeah,
All right,
okay?
okay, thanks a lot.
Site plan for 93 Steeple Street? 93 Steeple? No. 21 Thornton Street?
My name is Dries. I used to live in 21 Tartan Street. That's the building was on fire in March 19th. So now it's demolished. And I have a question, and all the 5 owners, they have the same concern. We would like to know, so because I know the size of the land is 45 by 100. We would like to know how big can be also when we rebuild. With the,
Okay, what was there before?
was the 6 unit condominium
Okay, and when did it burn down?
March 19th, just like.
Of this recent?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're allowed within 2 years to rebuild that same structure
Okay.
within
Oh.
the same footprint.
Same
Yeah,
footprint.
the foundation is still there, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it has to be the same footprint?
yeah. And it's a condominium, so before you do anything, you need to go to the building department and find out what the legal occupancy was.
I
To
see.
see if they have it as a legal 6 unit. Okay,
Yeah.
if it's not, say it's a 3 unit or a 4 unit, that's all you would be able to rebuild.
It was 6 unit. Even in the master deed, the register of deed
Yeah, but
was 6
that
unit.
doesn't mean anything. Check with the building department, see if they have a certificate issued for occupancy for a 6 unit.
6 unit, okay.
Okay,
And the size, same thing, you have to deal with them, or?
then you would be,
I don't know, was this?
you would be allowed to build within the same footprint of the existing building
Okay.
if it was a fire, within a 2-year period.
Sure, yeah.
But the question here is the use, whether it's what the legal use is.
Okay.
How many units?
Yeah. In case we'd like to do like modification the footprint, is it allowed?
You could modify it, you could make it more conforming.
Yeah. Was the, so the, around, I think.
20 feet in the rear,
20
yeah.
and the side?
10
10,
and,
okay,
15 feet in the front.
15. Right.
And the foundation cannot be more than 30% of the lot.
30%.
I don't know, did you have any parking on site?
No,
None.
no.
Well, I would provide as many parking spaces as you can on the site. So you could put a driveway on both sides of the, if you have two 10-foot side yards, you could put a driveway on each side. And you can park 2 cars in each driveway. Those would be 4 spaces.
Okay.
All
I
right?
know because this is the number of the land lot is 148. So 147 and 146, they have the same size of the land and as 148, and they have the same structure of the building. And both of them, they have like garage underneath. I don't know if that means anything. That means in case we're gonna rebuild the building, it has to be identical to the other buildings.
No,
or-
it doesn't, but when you rebuild, you would have to make it as conforming as possible in terms of parking and meeting all the setbacks and the height,
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
okay? But you would still have to go before the city council.
Of course.
Because you're reconstructing a non-conforming structure, so it would be a
Yes.
special permit.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much. Thanks, have a good day.
Okay. Site plan for 11B Philomena? Philomena? No. What address are you guys here for?
5 Washington Street in Washington Avenue here.
Oh, 5 Washington, you want to come up?
No, please again.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, good morning.
I'm basically here because I want to establish my towing business in a property that I'm about to lease, but I don't want to have any issues. So before I close the deal, I want to find out if that's okay with the city, if I can establish my business there.
What's the business?
Towing, for Milan Towing?
Towing?
Yeah, towing.
Towing's not allowed in that district.
No?
It's a general business district, they don't allow towing operations. in
Okay,
that
because
area.
there's homes and everything. And
Yeah, no, the zoning just does not allow it.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
prohibited use in that district,
Okay.
okay?
What areas are good to establish a business here in Revere?
Only the TED district, and then
Okay.
only by special permit of the city council.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, Revere Beach Boulevard, what's the address again?
It is 459.
459 Revere Beach Boulevard? No, did it for us before.
Yeah, it's more than one address. Morning.
Morning.
459 to 463.
Okay.
Got some goodies here.
This is the 34 condominium?
Yeah, so we had been here previously for a 34-unit condominium, and then since that time, there was some interest from another developer.
Three properties are,
Yeah, it's actually four assessors parcels. 3 of them are occupied by dwellings. So I'll run through that in 1 second here. There's a vacant parcel in the rear. Correct, so,
one in the back,
so
offset from the other.
it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. This piece in the back corner isn't part of the project. So the main reason why we're here today, and we've had a couple of sort of pre-development meetings with the Economic Development Director, is in order to meet the parking demand for 45 units of this site, which would be 74 spaces, We wanted to explore the idea of, that a lot of projects are taking part of now in urban areas, of using these mechanical parking stackers. So if you take a look at this piece of literature here, if you shoot to page, let's see here, just jump right to it, to page 8, what we are proposing, it's called a puzzle system. So this is different from the mechanical stackers that you're probably used to, that you see over at Mass General and the other locations, where you park a car in and then it puts a car above, and then a car can drive in underneath it. The issues with those systems is they truly are like a tandem parking type system, in that in order to get the top car out, you have to move the bottom car out, bring the top car down. These are a fully automated puzzle system. It's kind of like that game you used to play when you were a little kid that had the squares with one tile missing and you move the tiles around to match up the numbers. Same basic concept. There's a missing spot here, and they rotate both side to side and up and down. The manufacturer of these is City Lift. We're actually working with them in the city of Lynn right now on Monroe Street. They're doing a very similar system where we're parking about 50 cars on a footprint of 18 cars. They're all UL listed, you know, top quality parts and so on and so forth. So basically the way that they work is you pull your car into the empty spot and there's a fob. So after you pull your car in, there's a gate that closes so you can't get access back into it, and you press your fob up onto the module, and then it puts your car in the same spot every time. Because it puts your car in the same spot every time, they can be outfitted with electric charging stations or whatever the issue may be. So from a dimensional standpoint, these systems meet the width and length requirement, the 8.5 by 17. But as you can see, there's only about 3 or 4 feet above, and your zoning requires 7.5 feet clear above a parking space inside of a garage. So with that, based on discussions with the building commissioner and the planning department, it would require dimensional relief from the Board of Appeals.
So Rick, one of the questions Benny and I had was the width here has to be 8.5.
Correct.
And you say you have 8.5.
We do have 8.5. They have a few different sizes, and it just so happens that their largest size does meet the dimensional requirement from inside edge of structure to inside edge of structure. So, so there's no need to move any other cars out of the way. Your car simply appears back at the spot, no matter where it is in the system, where you can retrieve it. There's about a 30-second retrieval time from the furthest point away in the system. Their website's pretty interesting, the City Lift website, if you want to check it out. They have automated videos and so on and so forth, but it seems to be sort of the next generation of these things.
And you would provide, with the system in place, of 74 parking spaces?
We would provide 76 parking spaces where 74 are required. So the only question that I had is if you take a look on the site plan, and I think we had talked about this at the last site plan review, we have the narrow gauge railroad behind us, so we don't really have a buffer setback there, but we do have residential on either side.
This one and this one.
So I think we meet it here, but we certainly don't meet it here.
Yeah.
So I think we need relief from that parking buffer as well. Although I suppose on the flip side, we could eliminate a space because we have a space to lose, but we'd prefer to request the relief at this point and keep the...
Yeah, if you're going to be condominiums, you want to maximize your parking.
Exactly, keep the parking ratio greater than what's required.
So that at one point, when we reviewed this units were going to be, some were going to be in the outside of the building. And we determined that wouldn't be allowed. This is going to be all within inside of the garage?
Yes, yeah, none of these, they're all complete. So if you look at the legend, the parking spaces with the S's in them are stacker systems.
Oh, yeah.
So nothing on the outside, exterior of the building. These are traditional spaces back here. All the stackers would be inside the garage.
So when you show 9 here, 4 stalls, there's actually 9 spaces within those 4 stalls.
Correct.
Same here, there's 4, you're providing 8. Okay. So it's basically doubling.
These are stackers?
Yeah.
Correct.
So you're probably gonna have to come up with some other option because of the sewer line that runs right under there?
What we'd be doing is that's inside the building. We'd end up, I didn't bring the utility plan because we're not quite there yet, but like all the other projects on the boulevard, we'd probably be relocating or requesting to relocate a portion of that sewer to get it outside of the building. We wouldn't want the building to run underneath the building, the sewer to run under the building footprint.
I think up in that area, it's a 15-inch line. Is that correct, Joe? So you'd have to upgrade the line to at least...
So 18-inch, which is what we've been doing, yeah.
That's right, that's right.
15, we're upgrading to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think similar to the other projects, we give you an easement right down our driveway, and that sewer would be located in the open parking lot behind it, in the drive aisle, so you'd have plenty of access. Okay.
Okay. All right, so this has all been uploaded to e-permitting.
All uploaded, and I uploaded this, and there's the second for parking plan, and I uploaded the city lift stuff in the parking
Very
land
good.
section.
All right, so your denial letter would be emailed to whoever the contact person, it would be yourself.
Yeah, probably to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, like I said, since this is such a new thing, we're anxious to get into the Board of Appeals
Yeah.
and get that vetted out. Once that's vetted out, then we would come back with a much more detailed site plan, talk about the utilities, the architecture, and all that stuff. I just think it's a little premature for that at this point.
Okay. All right, so if you're successful, we'll see you after that.
Sounds good.
Okay? All right. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the site plan review committee meeting for April 16th. Thank you.